Greens and Richards fitting in so well?
I think both of them have done a really good job. I think the thing that I'm, most pleased with, and the thing that excites me the most is their approach. I talked to both of them over the last couple of days. They've been great at coming and working hard and paying attention to detail, doing everything right. I think that's the biggest thing. If that's the approach they have, they're going to be real successful here and be add to what is already a real good culture.
Jeff, just your thoughts on 3-on-3 moving forward here.
Well, I had some experience with 3-on-3 last year in the American League. The one difference is it wasn't for the same length of time. We would start it after the first whistle after the 4-minute mark. Lots of times it was only about 2 minutes of it. I guess my first thought is it's incredibly exciting from what I've observed so far. The action is back and forth. Every chance one way leads to a chance going back the other way if it's not in the net. It'll be interesting as we move. I wanted to watch here and just see in terms of strategy. Is there anything that we want to implement beyond what we did a year ago? So for me, it's a lot of observation and just getting a good feel for it. We'll get some more of it tomorrow.
Were you a fan of the shootout, Jeff, or would you prefer this?
I'm not anti-shootout at all.
Okay.
I'm not somebody that, I think the shootout was put in place. I think there would serve two purposes. One, to break the tie, which I'd rather not have ties, and I've seen in the rinks they seem to be exciting moments. So I think it helps that way. But I would also say I love going to 3-on-3 first and then going to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a real good format. The 3-on-3 is extremely exciting.
Is there a way to defend the 3-on-3 really?
I think it's a little bit obviously. I think the less players that are on the ice, the more it becomes man against man, and that's the reality of it. Is there a way? We'll look to do the best job we can in that sense, but I think in the end it still becomes a lot of man-on-man in situations.
How much does 3-on-3 benefit a goalie like Peter Mrazek?
In terms of
just having an extra forward
guy who can play the puck, yeah. Both Peter and Tommy last year in our experiences did a real good job when they made the save of just moving the puck up, and it doesn't take really a big time ability to really get wood on it. It just means to quickly bump it up to the next guy and then get moving. So Peter was good at it. I think it's something, it's a learned thing. I think Jimmy can be good at it, and so I think it's something that can be important.
You think that the 3-on-3 could really benefit players like Teemu Pulkkinen, obviously giving him more room to shoot the puck, which is basically his bread and butter?
Two things I'd say on that is, one, I think Teemu does more than just shoot the puck, and that's one thing that I think has been lost in translation. And I told him that. I think when he comes up here, he feels a little bit pressure just to shoot the puck. He can make plays too, and so he's going to have to do that. I think the 3-on-3 opens it up for all the elite players in the league, and you saw a guy like Richards and the ability like that. So all the elite players in the league, I think it opens up lots of ice for them.
Justin. Just talking about Pulkkinen, just talk about some of the challenges that he faces as he tries to establish himself in this league.
Well, Pulkkinen has to do two things. He has to, in my words, do it right every shift. So he's got to be accountable defensively. He's got to stop in the D zone. He's got to play from the right side of the puck, and then, but he also has to score goals. And the way that he scores goals lots is by anticipating. He has to make sure he's anticipating and not cheating. When he cheats, then he leaves himself vulnerable defensively. When he anticipates, he's in good defensive position and then gets to open ice in a hurry. So that's going to be the biggest thing. And when he gets chances, he's going to have to score. I believe he will. Time will tell.
Justin Applicator really had a standout season, seemed to come into the type of player he was in college last season. What are you looking for him now? Is there another step that he can take, or what are you?
I would say just continue in exactly what he did last year. I thought, and I said this earlier, last year to me was what Justin is becoming. I think it's a normality for what Justin will be. He's got a good skill set. He adds a dimension to a line. He's learned to be physical. Not learned. He's continued to grow in his physicality. His net front presence is something that's he's really grown with. But Justin has the ability to score goals. As you mentioned, he was an elite offensive player throughout his college career. I actually coached him as a 16-year-old. I think this is what Justin Abdicator is going to be. Again, he's got to prove it every day.
Where do you see the development of Richard Niedemel, and do you think he has a chance to make it in the AHL maybe this season or next season?
I'd let Todd Nelson answer that question in terms of whether he'd make it or not. I think Richard progressed through the season last year, and I think Derek Lalonde could comment on that progression because he saw more on a day-to-day basis, but I know from Derek's perspective he definitely progressed.
What do you think is the next step for Landon Carlo?
I think Landon's like a good number of our young guys that are trying to become regular NHLers. So Landon, in a short sample size, did a real good job in the playoffs, but he wants to become a regular NHLer, so that means he's got to, again, we've talked about how relentless sports are, so that means he's got to do it tomorrow, he's got to do it the next day, he's got to do it in all the exhibition games. He needs to continue. I think he's had a great camp so far. I think he showed speed, I think he showed strength on puck. That strength was a big thing for him, and I think he just needs to continue.
Jeff, from a strategic standpoint, do teams need a defenseman on 3-on-3 in that mix, or can you see some teams, maybe yourself, going to 3 forwards in that situation?
I don't foresee us going to 3 forwards because of the defensemen we have available to us. I don't. You'd want to. Skating is extremely important. So you'd want a guy like Green. You'd want a guy like Cronwell. You want a guy like Danny because of how important skating is. Could I see it? I could see it. I could also see 2 teams playing, and I saw last year a team go 3 forwards. I could also see 2 teams playing, or teams playing 1 forward and 2D. I think it comes down to who your best individual players are.
Jeff, can you just assess Brendan Smith's offensive potential? Obviously, he's a guy who's focused mostly on defense. As he got to the NHL, he has shown those skills in the past.
I think Brendan and I discussed this. You want to accentuate your positives. You want to grow with your positives, and he's got an ability, I think, in the offensive zone to be active, to shoot the puck. To make the plays happen from tops of circles down, but he's got to do that without taking on any more risk. We want Brendan to grow in his reward with less risk, and that'll be the biggest thing for him, is to learn to do that as good as he can. We like efficient defensemen. Efficient means to me very, very lots of positives and very few negatives, and that's going to be his the thing that he's going to need to do.
I know you've got quite a few power play options, especially with the addition of Richards, but do you foresee giving Smith an opportunity, at least in the preseason?
He'll get an opportunity in the preseason, absolutely, and just like some other guys, and then they're going to have to grab it.
Now that we're wrapping up the 3rd day of camp, how do you assess how it's gone so far for you?
Well, I think it's gone good. I think it's gone good because we have so many guys that come here and they work and pay attention to detail. And I said that lots. I think what separates this group a lot is the daily work ethic and daily attention to detail, and that's why I think the camp's gone pretty good.
Anything you're going to look for specifically tomorrow, Flash, as far as the red and white?
I think you're looking for probably a couple things. You're looking for 3 things, I'd say. 1, how are the line combinations? Are some of the guys that we know are going to be on the team, do we like the way those lines look? 2, guys that are fighting, that are probably going to be on the team, but they want maybe a bigger role. How do they look? And then guys that are fighting to be on the team. So those are the 3 things that we'll look at tomorrow.
And how'd your game go last night? I heard you guys won.
We won. So it was good. Winning's better than losing. All right? Thank you.